San Juan, Puerto Rico, tens of thousands of residents in northwestern Puerto Rico were ordered to evacuate Friday amid fears that a dam holding back a large inland lake was in imminent danger of failing because of damage from Hurricane Maria's floodwaters. Officials worried that as many as 70,000 people could be in the path of a massive amount of rushing water in the event the Guajatica Dam releases into the Guajatica River, which flows north through low-lying coastal communities and empties into the ocean. The dam suffered a fissure, Puerto Rico Governor Ricardo Rossello said in a news conference Friday afternoon. Residents in the municipalities of Cobradillas, Isabela and part of San Sebastian could be affected if the dam collapses, he said, and it could be a catastrophic event. To those citizens, who are listening, please evacuate, Rossello said. Buses were sent to ferry residents out of harm's way. We want your life to be protected, please, if you're listening, the time to evacuate is now. Abner Gomez, Executive Director of Puerto Rico's Emergency Management Agency, said in an interview late Friday night that the dam's gates suffered mechanical damage during the storm, making it impossible for them to open and let out normal water currents. Officials worry that could cause the dam to spill over. Gomez said that under current conditions, with water rising after the hurricane, there is no way to fix it right now. Additional water flowing into the lake could create sudden dangers, so emergency evacuation was the only option, he said. If the dam tops over or fails structurally, he said, thousands of people could die. The urgent situation Friday came more than 48 hours after Hurricane Maria slammed into Puerto Rico's southwestern coast as the most powerful storm to strike the island in more than 80 years. It was a reminder that Maria's impact on Puerto Rico is far from over. Officials still have little sense of the scope of the damage the island sustained as a communications and power blackout continued to affect nearly everyone in the U.S. territory. Gomez characterized Maria as one of the greatest natural disasters in recent U.S. history, comparing it to Hurricanes Katrina and Sandy. The destruction in some parts of the island looked more like a tornado than a hurricane, he said. Rescue and recovery could take months, he said, and a return to normalcy could take at least a year. Authorities on Friday reported 6 deaths across the island. 3 of the fatalities occurred in the municipality of Utuado as a result of mudslides, Puerto Rico's Public Safety Department said in a statement. 2 others died in flooding in Toa Baja, and 1 other person died in Bayamon when a panel struck him in the head. More deaths are likely to be reported in coming days as search and rescue crews reach previously inaccessible areas, officials said. We are aware of other reports of fatalities that have transpired by unofficial means but we cannot confirm them, said Hector M. Pesquera, Secretary of the Public Safety Department. Though damage assessments have been nearly impossible, early reports reveal an island ravaged by Maria's high winds and torrential rains, with roofs peeled open like tin cans, neighborhoods waterlogged, and trees that were lush just days ago now completely stripped bare of leaves. The hurricane plowed through the entire 100-mile island, with the eye tracking diagonally from the southwest to the northwest. Every vulnerable house here made out of wood was completely or partially destroyed during the path of the eye of the hurricane, Rossello said of an island where many homes are constructed of wood foundations and zinc roofs. Puerto Rico has endured an horrific ordeal. The lack of communications has isolated rural areas of the island. Just 15% of the island's communication towers are working, and some of the island's transmission towers have collapsed. Up to 85% of its fiber cables are damaged. Power remains completely out on the island, and just 25% of it is water service. Shock has given way to frayed nerves as officials warn that it could be months before power is restored to some areas, and there is no indication of when communications infrastructure will be fixed. In the capital, streets were choked with traffic as people tried to find loved ones and spent hours waiting in line for gas. The De La Cruz family could not find fuel on Thursday. On Friday morning they waited in line for 6 hours at one of the open stations here, and there were still 20 cars in front of them. Gabriel De La Cruz and his wife, Luisa, took turns fanning their 1-year-old son, Ismael, who sat sweating in the hot car, wearing only a diaper. "This is all we have," De La Cruz, a 30-year-old restaurant cook, said of the car. They lost their home and all their belongings in the storm. Residents searching for loved ones in remote areas met down trees, power lines and other debris. News